You are going to make a board game. When you do that, there are three phases that you have to go through. That will be design, testing, and then the final process. Let's take a look at the design phase. When you're going to make a design, you have to brainstorm. You have to think about the range of range of age. That means how old are the players? What type of game is it? Is it, for example, Risk? Or is it like Ludo? Then you have to figure out some basic rules. Make sure you do not make too many rules, it will be too complicated to play. And then you have to figure out how do players win. Because it's important for the players to know, is it to gather points, is it to conquer most land, or is it to get from one end to the other as quickly as possible. You also have to check with your teacher, because your teacher might have some basic things that she or he wants you to consider about your game. That could be basic rules. It could also be your board, that your teacher wants you to make a certain board or start with a certain board. It could also be additional materials like cards, or what to do when you hit a certain field or something like that. Okay, so that was the design phase. Now let's take a look at the testing. Oops, like that. Okay, I'm a newbie in this, but you just have to bear with me, okay? When you test your game, first of all you need to create a sketch of your board. That means that you just sketch it out really quickly, and it won't take you that long. Then you have to test your game. You might test it yourself, you might test it in your group, and when you've done that, it's time for you to refine your game. Not a nice arrow, but never mind. Refine your game. That means, did you find any mistakes that you need to correct? Then you need to make those corrections. So you need to correct those things that you find you need to improve. You will always need to improve something, because not many people, I think no people at all, will make a perfect game in the first hit. So make sure you make those corrections. And then of course you need to test it again, and if you find more things to do, you might need to refine your game just once again, and then of course you need to test it in the end once again. Now let's take a look at the final phase. So the final phase is excuse me, I just needed to cough. The final phase is where you actually gather materials. That means that you find what you need for your game. And then you have to illustrate your board. To illustrate your board means that you actually do the board for real. That you actually do the game so it looks nicely with colors or cardboard paper that you cut out. It could be many things, many stuff. And then you need to create additional materials. Will there be cards when you hit a certain point? Will there be quests with stuff you need to do? And at least but not last, you have to create your pieces. That means spillebrikker. So you need to do what kind of pieces you need for your game. Remembering those three phases, design, test, and the final process, will take you through making a board game. I think you'll find that it will be quite fun if you take it seriously.